Hey guys, miss you all. It's Tuesday, and I just wanted to come on here and let everyone know that I'm thinking of you, and I've been praying for your families. And this morning while I was reading out of our Gideon devotion, a couple things stuck out to me, and I wanted to share them with you. It says on page 48 of our study guide, in other words, the mere fact that Gideon had wheat to thresh was a symbol of God's favor expressed to his people, despite the hardship and the oppression they were facing. And I just wanted to say to everyone, we are facing something that we haven't faced before. And this is new and scary. But we have to remember that God knew this was coming. And he's there with us in the midst of all of this. And I wanted to read to you on page 49. As you consider Gideon's abundance of wheat, don't miss an important principle. God's people were oppressed by the Midianites. Their dismal plight was a direct consequence of their rebellion. Gideon's tribe, Manasseh, like many other tribes in the nation, had not taken full possession of their land. They fell into idolatry as they mingled with the Canaanites. God was obviously not pleased, yet he supplied his people's needs. The fact that he chose to bless them with wheat to thresh does not imply that he had truly blessed them as a people. They had wheat, but not peace. Grain, but not goodwill. Having an ample wheat supply, therefore, in the midst of this rancid environment, tells us something theologically important. Both oppression and abundance can coexist in the lives of God's people. God's loyalty does not equal God's approval. In 1 Chronicles 21, for example, David's sin had resulted in dire consequences for Israel. A tormenting plague swept through the land for 3 days, wiping out 70,000 people. Yet, in the midst of this tragedy, the Bible says a guy named Ornan was threshing wheat. Divine discipline and consequence were running rampant across the hills and valleys of Israel, yet the people were still experiencing the great mercy of the Lord. How do we know? Because their threshing floors remained full. Guys, right now, you may not feel you have an abundance of things, but look around and just be thankful for what you do have. And something that stuck out to me was God's loyalty through all of it. Whether the people were loyal, God was still loyal to his people. The harvest that God routinely allowed Israel's farmers to retain was not a sign of God's approval. It was a sign of his loyalty. I wonder if Israel ever confused the two. I wonder if we ever confuse the two. Consider and internalize the principle of abundance and oppression. God is still faithful to us even when we are faithless. Number 2, God's faithfulness does not signify God's approval. May we never equate his faithfulness to us in times of rebellion with his endorsement or tolerance of our choices. When we are unfaithful to God, he will not excuse or overlook our sin. But because we are his, he will still demonstrate his love and care by remaining faithful to his covenant with us and populating our lives with certain blessings. These gifts are not designed to lull us into a spiritual apathy or lighten the weight of our offenses. He intends to woo us graciously, kindly, lavishly back into intimate fellowship with him. Use this time to have fellowship with the Lord. Right now, as you can see, I am in my prayer closet. It's not finished, but this is where I'm going to have my prayer time once our home is finished. So, as I was talking to God the other day, he reminded me, I now have my prayer closet that I complained several months ago that I had lost. But now I have it. It's not finished, but it's still here. And it's in works. So look around and be thankful for what you have. And if you can't be thankful for anything, ask God to show you some things that you can be thankful for. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I look forward to someday getting back to our Gideon Bible study. Until then, I think I'm going to start doing just our devotions on here until we can get back together again. Bye, guys.